Good evening, folks, and welcome back to a very belated edition of Biblical Britain Uncoded. Biblical it is on this occasion because we're going to crack a few biblical codes, extraordinary codes, giving us a time really to tie up the last video and something that I discovered that we'll get to. Okay, there's a lot of talk, right? Okay, I'll get straight into it because there's a lot going on. Okay, the first thing, there's a lot of talk about the rapture, this Feast of Trumpets and everything else. Okay, the first thing to know, I don't even know why, this is a bit of an impromptu one. This wasn't even on my sheets, but I don't know, I just feel it right just to put this in perspective. The rapture is actually basically an anagram of part true. Okay, if you take the words rapture, you got RAPTURE, so it's rapture, but obviously it's done. The reason it's done in the letter L is because on this code here, what you've got, you've got a C and a Z. The Z, this Solomon Z, is also a code. In fact, as well, just to give you something else that came to my attention, obviously they say this is a cult and is evil, or people will say it because obviously everybody's been indoctrinated into the Christian kind of belief where and obviously they want to whoever behind it decided that they don't want it looked into. Well, okay, I'm going to show you something amazing. I should have put this up, but okay, so we got an occult. Okay, you can see that this is I'm just showing you here is the use of this letters. We know the C because that's so locking in Mon's key, which is in fact MELIN. It's a fort called Llanmelin in South Wales, literally in the shape of a key that actually points directly to this office that I'm in now. Okay. Right, okay. Okay, so part true. Why is it part true? Well, the Z goes here as well. Okay, so there's an LZ. How this got there, I don't know, but they're literally like there's forces at work in this world from this tetragrammaton Black Knight satellite, which I've decoded as being the thing that obviously, or the piece of equipment, I think, is more some advanced form of AI, this Black Knight satellite. I don't know what it is, but it has this ability to affect the minds of men, basically, and that's literally, and this is how I'm able to uncode all this, and very, very quickly. All right, so we got an L, obviously, so it's part true. There is an LZ, and the LZ is written, this seal here is a key seal. It's one of Solomon's seals. You find it on the Masonic Hall. I think it's on Edinburgh Hall, I think, with one of them. There's at least one of them that contains it. It's not shown publicly, but I found this by sheer chance. Obviously, I was led to it. Okay, but the first thing, which is going to become relevant as well, is that when you uncode with the Z on it, you get, and this will become apparent. Sorry. So we've got moon, SOS, LZ. Okay, LZ. So that's another place it goes. Now, the word occult. Occult actually means hidden. Now what I've never noticed this until recently, but this is even encoded as well, because you've got what it is CC LZ and then OUT, out. Okay, so CC, it should be with 2 there, not 3. Okay, CCLZ out. Well, CC is basically when you add this, you take the crescent moon, which is also on these symbols of Solomon, and you take the crescent moon. If you anagram the word crescent moon, it actually says secret C on Mon. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Mon is Monmouthshire in South Wales, with this Fort Melin, this key, and a temple that we're going to get into as we go inside an ancient fort that I've decoded as the original Jerusalem with a G, hence this G. It's actually GRUS ALEM. Okay, and it comes from the constellation G Roost the Crane. And for some reason they got A and a Mel, and they've reversed the Mel, the MEL for Melin, and added it. But it's also like I say, if you've been watching these videos, you know that the name of the ship that picks up on this from Melin is actually called the Argus, which is also an anagram of sugar, which is your sweet, and Mel is Welsh as well. And it's Welsh for honey, so your code for sweet as, it says sweet as honey, and he uses that in the Old Testament. It's obviously a code, but it's the Argus Melin, basically. It's the place of the LZ for the Moon SOS LZ. Again, if you've been following this, you'll know exactly what that means, and we're going to take this next level. On the last video, we did the, I'll do a kind of a recap on it now with the Bullseye, the triple Taurus Bullseye on H. Okay, and the dart score. I missed quite a critical thing as well. This CC is 33 as well, and again I'll get into that as we go. Right, okay, I'm just going to hold you there a second. Bear with me. Okay, right, just a quick kind of recap on the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, I highly recommend you watch it. I mean, you're going to see miraculous things in what I'm about to show you, but I did most of this, but it was one kind of key piece I missed, but it does lead us into the next video. Right, now, as crazy as this sounds, it's all about darts, and the key to this, the 30th of the 6th indicates my birthday, basically. I was born in the Royal Brent Hospital, but what we've got is funnily enough, a 9-week period where we got the 7-7 Paul, the 8-8, the 8th of the 8th is the Lion's Gate, but the missing one is the 9th of 9th. Well, if you've been following this video, you know that this is all about Job 9:9. Job 9:9, the decode in that, where he says, who makes Orion, Arcturus and the Pleiades, and all I did was took the full titles, Orion the Hunter, Arcturus, and the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. When you anagram it down, what it actually says, if I can remember it right, it says, I see truth return, so I return on H. Please set all, please set all evac H IDs. Okay, excuse me. So on the last one, what we did is basically by breaking the triple H, so which is really a triple Taurus Bullseye on H. You'll see how this works. Obviously, with which the RGH is the River, Jerusalem, and the hospital code, which go on to onto the template of Solomon's cancer symbol. Well, I was born in Cancer on the 30th of 6th in the Royal Gwent Hospital. I know this is going to sound crazy if you're new to this, but if you see the last video, it explains it a little bit better of how we get a base date of 30th of the 6th. Now, what I want you to know, and I didn't realise on the last one, 3IATLAS, which is, we're going to get right into that one. 3IATLAS, there's this mysterious object that's heading towards Mars as we speak. I don't want to give too much away early, but it was spotted, funnily enough, on the 1st of July. So if the 30th of the 6th represents the portal, in the heavens, 1st of July was when it was seen. So it's literally been seen by the Atlas telescope, although it was spotted far earlier. Bear in mind that we predicted that there was a ship coming, that the James Webb, by using the star codes, that we've already seen that the James Webb telescope had spotted the Argus ship Armada. If you go back about, I don't even know how many, but 10 videos ago, I think, you can see how all this fits together and how fantastic this code really is. And believe me, I'm no genius. I'm a security guard and working nights now, working hard doing this. With the best job ever, thankfully. Right, anyway, right, but what we're going to do, just as I thought, this Bullseye, and obviously for anybody new, we, on the map, 3 or 3 years ago, I drew this dart, basically a perfect dart. I've done it and shown it in previous videos, made up of place names, and all I did really, well, to be honest, there was when I did it, I don't even know, obviously I was being guided, but at the time I didn't realise to what level. But all I did, I took the lock where the temple is in Jerusalem. There's an actual temple, and what I did, I followed it down, and I seen a place called Temple Coombe, which to me was said Coombe Temple. That's what came in my head. So I thought, all right. So I followed it down, and I came to a place called Coombe Keys. So I've now got Coombe Temple, Coombe Keys, and this is the logic behind it. I didn't actually know what I was. I didn't know what I was drawing at this point. I just drew a line. Then I seen that I don't know why I got led to Dorchester, which is the best part of Door Secret, or Secret Door. Not exactly, obviously, it's an old short, but this is the I'm just trying to show you the logic to which I did it. Then I connected it back to Temple Coombe, I think it was, and then I found another, I forget which place names, which ones came up, but what happened is I ended up, and I looked at it, and I thought, that's a dart. Now, bear in mind, going back when this first started, I had this kind of instinctive trance-like state, I don't even know how to describe it, where I went, and I'd never been interested in it before, but I suddenly felt this need. I needed to start listening to the Old Testament. Anyway, the one thing that stuck with me from doing it, because when at the time of drawing this, I'd given up on the Bible because it made no sense whatsoever. And now I know why, because it was rewritten, and obviously what's left in there is code. Oh, as I'm going to show you. Okay, but effectively what I did, there was a place here that had the word Mel in it. I think Alma was it, or something, Alma. I saw the word Mel, so I thought, okay. But I got this, and then I realised this was Wincanton, cannot win, came up with that, I'm not sure. And then all I realised is if I did this, then what I got is this dart pointing at the temple. Okay, little did I know, but again, going forward, later on, when I started decoding the pyramids, and I don't know, and I got led back to this dart, and it comes, and there's an absolute perfect message in it, and it's actually quite it's almost poetic. I did it on a video not long ago. I think it might have been on the last video, but something about ICO key and something or other, and caution, something about the target beyond on Temple B or something. I don't know, something about Corsham names me. Well, Corsham is where I am now, in Eastleigh's Corsham. Eastleigh's Corsham is an anagram of Yes Atlas Marcos H. Now, where I said it, right, the full passage of Job 9:9 actually states, it says, who makes Arctura? So you get the I see truth return, so I return on H. Please set all evac H IDs. And then it says, and who makes the chambers of the south? Well, I worked out the chambers of the south because Eastleigh's Corsham is built on a mine. So the chambers of the south is Eastleigh's Corsham. And then to add to the please set evac H IDs, what you get then when you unscrabble Corsham and Eastleigh's is Yes Atlas Marcos H. Well, obviously, we've now got something, a comet, well, it's not a comet, I'm quite sure of that. This interstellar object, and it's also called 3IATLAS. You'll see where this is all going, because we're going cosmic after this, and I'm going to show you how this is all recorded in creation in the most insane, impossible way. Just as I thought that I'd cracked the dart, it takes it a step further. I really didn't think there was anything left, but okay. But the first thing to know is that the word I, the letter I in numerically is 9. So if we do 3 by 9 Atlas, okay, so what does that give us? It gives us 999 Atlas. Okay, right, if you've been following this again, you'll know, and you're going to see more of it. See, this one is, right, 36 is 7 days to the 7th of the 7th, so you've got 777, 8 days to the 8th from the end of the month, because that's how it pins out, and then you've got the 999. Okay, now this 99 is because the RGH is a hospital, and this is an emergency evac. Okay, an emergency because unfortunately there's war coming, and there's a great big planet somewhere out there that is heading this way that won't be visible until, well, once the Argus is seen. It says the code, one of the codes said the Cody opens will be seen before the Welsh Red Dragon flag planet will be seen. Well, the Red Dragon is Nibiru, and that's what it is aiming at. It's using the Welsh flag as part of the prophecy. Okay, right, the thing I didn't point out on the last one. Okay, so this all started, well, I gave up my business 30th of 6th, 2020, kind of made this deal to do this, and that was a big part of it, because I was obviously sending people out on the Sabbath. There's no way you can run a security business without a Saturday, but I don't know, I just made this agreement that I would get rid of the business. I did it on that day. I phoned this guy, and I basically done a deal, gave it to him for £1, I think, or penny or £1. It was one of the two. And then my life went downhill, rapid and really bad. I ended up living in a caravan, and anyway, roll on, boom, 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 to my birthday on the 30th of the 6th, 2025. Now that is a 5-year period. Okay, what I didn't realise, incidentally, this year, from the 1st, well, I put it in the last video, from the 1st of January to the 30th of June is exactly, and this is how I got kicked off onto this, 180 days. Okay, so this is what opened up again with this dark code. Okay, right, as you can see, the synchronicity is astonishing. Right, but then what he's given me, or put in my head, because this is how I get it, I don't speak to him directly. He basically, I don't know how it does it, but it's like this plan, and then it through, I suppose you could call it telepathy, I guess, through this like thought process. I don't know, to explain it is impossible, but it happens keeps on happening. I cannot escape it. I even went, I literally put no effort in this month since the last video. Honestly, it's taken me no time at all to do this. It's taken longer to prepare it and get it right, to get it and put it into writing and put it on to prepare it for this. But either way, anyway, I get it rapid, and what you're about to see is next level on this, believe it or not. Right, okay, so we got 180 score, top score each year. So I'm on the right track every year and getting the score and getting closer and closer and closer. This kind of, I'm going to say, I don't know, about cosmic dart. This cosmic dart score, this heavenly dart score is 999, so we need to reduce it. Okay, so 5 times 180 is 900. Okay, we reduced to 999, that leaves us 99 left. Bear in mind, it's Job 99. Okay, now what I didn't point out on the last one, which I forgot, is that 99, and then what we did then, we found the triple torus bullseye, which pinpoints the basically these confirm that there's basically the creator is Yahweh. His name is Yahweh. Is coming, and not the Yahweh of Israel and the Jews. There's something different. Somebody somewhere has basically hijacked the story, used half of his name, kind of thing, but his name is Yahweh. Okay, but and his people are the Siluri, not the Israelites, and the land is Siluria, not Israel. Okay, right. Regardless, again, I can't go down every road with this, but okay, so you take these three, well, that leaves you 99, which gives you a 33 score. Now, anybody who's been watching this knows that the 33 is your C. Remember I said about the CC? Have I covered? Right, I think. Right, again, if you want to see more on this part, go to the last video. And like I say, and it does it in a formulated way, so it's not kind of, well, it's possible to be to be coincidence and random. Well, it isn't, and I'm about to take it to next level. Right, let me just quickly show you. So we got this, right, well, this takes us neatly into the next code. Okay, we got this CC. Okay, there's multiple CCs. Okay, CC 33 equals CC. Crescent moon says secret C on Mon, and that's what it is. The secret C on Mon, that's actually the anagram from crescent moon. That's why the crescent moon is on there. Okay, right. Now, so what we do with the secret C, there's two C's. Oh, we do, again, I've done this before, but it's King Solomon's, because we found the real temple and the real key. King Solomon's key and and we're going to find King Solomon's ring as well. King Solomon's ring shortly. Temple. Okay. The biggest clue of Solomon, by the way, is you've got Sol and Moon. And because that's like honestly that's how it didn't take a lot to work out. This is a clearly a lot more. It's all to do with code and heavenly code, and we're going to start to break that. Okay, so if I add the secret Sion mon, okay, and then I anagram this down, what you get is so locking Mon's key, that's Melin in Monmouthshire, or Clan Melin it's actually called. If you want to look it up, it's LLANMELIN, Clan Melin Hill Fort. Look at it from above, it's basically a key. Okay, and I missed the C, but it's locking LOCKING, and then exactly the same, so you get so locking Mon's key, so locking Mon's temple. Okay, this temple and key, and this temple is in the Fort Jerusalem, and it's in a place called, well, it's actually in a place modern day called Caerwent. Okay, hang on, better do that again in case anybody wants to look this up. It's Caerwent. It's labelled as a Roman temple and a Roman fort. This is absolute lies. History has been hidden by the Vatican of South Wales history, and I've got that in code as well, but I won't get into that. But further back, there's speak to the fish in the Book of Job. He says, speak to the fish and they will teach thee. Well, when I put all the fish constellations together and scrabbled the message, it said that South Wales history, ancient South Wales history, has been hidden in the depths of the Vatican. I think she hushes up Jerus. I forget the last bit, but basically that's that's what's happened. So this little place called Caerwent with this ginormous fort in it, and believe me, it's not a little fort. It's got massive walls that were apparently 60-70 feet high in the day, which is a rather large fort. You know, it's not a small place, let's put it that way, and the ruins are free, you can go around it, but this is the real Jerusalem. Okay, but we'll come to that. Okay, where was I going with this? Okay, right, okay. Oh yeah, what we live in is a covenant. It's a this is the promise. And it says, I don't know why it uses this, but simulacrum means simulation, this does. But when, I gotta hope I spelled that right, it might be, simulacrum. Simulacrum, okay. But when you do that, when you basically, you know what it is, this is what the simulation that we live in. Okay, but it's code, well, I'm kind of doing it backwards here, but it's, CC on, if I get this right, on VENTA. If this doesn't work out because I've spelled it wrong, but I think I got it right. SILUM. No, I spelled it wrong. Simulacrum. But basically, when you take the word covenant and simulacrum, it comes, and you unscrabble it. It comes CC on Ventusai Lurum. So I've misspelled it somewhere. But basically, the CC on Ventusai Lurum. Ventusai Lurum is the name of the fort at Caerwent. Sorry if I've been a bit lapsed there, but you can go back on other videos and check it anyway. Okay, right, on that note, CC takes us into the, right, okay. Now, we went into it, and obviously this object, 3IATLAS. Now, I've got there's two theories on this, possibilities. It's either a pre-runner that's opened up, well, its root opened up the next kind of code. Before we get to that, let's get to, right, here's how crazy this is. Obviously, I always talk about, like, I get these either triggers or these either thoughts or something triggers something and it kicks off these codes from out of nowhere. In this case, I was looking, literally going through TikTok. I'm just looking for information about 3IATLAS, what it's doing and where it's going and what have you, because obviously I've been following it. because I predicted a giant ship would come. Funny enough as well, incidentally, it's estimated to be NASA estimate to be about 20 kilometers long, basically. When I drew my UFO ship, or mothership as it's called, on the map, funnily enough, from this point here on the river to this point here on the river is just over 22.1 something, like 143 or something. But it's funnily enough, even the size to scale matches what the size of what they estimate Atlas to be. Also worth noting, on the map I got this, I don't know, like a ship. This is all literally on the Atlas. I forget, this goes down here, this goes to Noah's Ark Farm Zoo. I don't know, this goes on the lock, and then at the lock you got this. Right, so basically on the map, what I actually drew was a mother. This code has got my mother built into it, literally my mother's name. And this one, so you got what you got is a mothership UFO, and then this is the Argus. And I drew this long before any of this object came into view. Okay, and I predicted that and I worked out that it was called the Argus Navis for multiple reasons, but again, I can't go through it all. But what's interesting as well, this dart, I'm not sure, I think this might be a little bit more here, but the dart literally cuts through. This is clearly not to scale, but this Atlas dart, and bear in mind I called obviously all this being drawn, you've got an Atlas ship and an Atlas dart, but they literally one locks onto another. So I think, right, going into the next code, what I'm assuming, and I'm assuming that I'm not assuming, the dart is being used to either pin the route of where this mothership comes in, or it literally represents the mothership, the actual ship. It could be either. That's the only thing at the minute. Again, we'll get into this, but well worth knowing that we've got an Atlas dart, an Atlas mother. Well, it's the mother. I did think of this. I thought this. It might not necessarily be a triangular mothership, but I thought about it because if you want to draw, if you want to produce a picture of a UFO on a map, you can only do it with straight lines. Obviously, I mean, this thing, for all I know, it could be circular, it could be, I don't know, it could be like this shape, whatever, I don't know, it could even be like I don't know what shape, but to draw it, and this tail fin really adds to it, so it's not just a triangle, and all that's coded as well. This is coded, the dart is coded. I've broken all these codes down, and they all fit to exactly the same thing. But just worth noting that the dart goes over top of the ship. Right, okay. Now, I was looking obviously to see about this Atlas, and as I was scrolling through, this thing comes up about the Rapture. A guy is on about the Rapture. Could it be on? I don't know. Even today, as I'm writing this, they're saying it could be with the Feast of Trumpets. I don't understand any of that. But I was about to flick through because he was talking about, the New Testament says this. I don't give the Testament any space at all. I don't. That's just all that is plagiarised the Old Testament and been rewritten basically. Stories taken out from ancient stories. I mean, even the Old Testament is taken from an original ancient Welsh Bible that was rewritten. Hence the code again. Right, but as I was about to scroll through it, he mentioned Daniel 9:25, and it instantly hit me that 9:25, September 25. So I thought, that's strange, but I didn't really have a clue what I was going to kind of come up with. But well, right, bear with me a second so I can just get my phone up and just read what it says. Bear with me. Okay, right, as this is all dart related as well, I want you to just picture this. Basically, if you took every single verse out of the Bible, I don't know how many there are, but there are thousands and thousands, and probably, I don't know, 100,000, I don't know, I'm guessing 10,000 verses, maybe more, whatever. But there's an awful lot, and you put them on a piece of paper and you put them on a board, and you give me a dart and I throw it, and I'm using the dart for a reason, and I've got to throw a dart and pick one verse that absolutely perfectly fits you know, I haven't been studying the Bible or anything. This is a first interaction with the Bible as such in, well, I don't even know how long, because I got told just to use it as basically given to just use it as cross-reference, basically, where and when they pull the code out. But if you imagine the chances of me hitting what I'm about to show you, bullseye, literally a bullseye on this particular passage, and bear in mind that Daniel is a timeline for the end. Well, this gives us an exact timeline of the period that I just showed you on that 30th of June to the, well, like, as I say, right, okay, first thing, and you may well spot the kind of key word here, if you like. It says, know therefore and understand that from going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem, unto the Messiah, the Prince, an uncrowned King, that is, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. Okay. Right, the key word to me was so obvious and stood out was 60. Bear in mind that I've got 3 bullseye scores, but now obviously we need to tie this to the actual code that I just showed you, which it does so perfectly, it's unbelievable. Right, right, from the commandment, and I think the building of the building of the walls and the streets, I think it's kind of the street, it's like a street map, really, and building the walls of the real Jerusalem. I mean, they're not really being rebuilt, it's just rebuilt in code, same as I kind of rebuilt the temple, really, while the people in Israel are still going to build the temple that's not even the real temple. But either way, and it says even in troublous times. Well, the troublous times we're in are actually World War III. Well, believe it or not, I'm going to decode World War III from this passage as well. Okay, so right, the first thing to note, right, bear with me now, okay, so we've got, in fact, let me write this up first and then it's quicker for me to explain it. Okay, so what we effectively have is 7 weeks and 2 weeks, so what we have a total of is 9 weeks, okay, divided by a 3 score. Okay, the 3 score is 33, which comes to 99 as well, which gives you Job 9:9. It's confirming that this is, obviously, but it's done in a very clever way as a time period. Now, 9 weeks equals 63 days. So if I start, I think it's from the 8th, it starts from the next day, the 8th of the 8th, because you've got the 7th of 7th is literally the portal, and then you've got the 8th of the 8th, 9th, so yeah, these would represent, yes, it's 7 days after, 7th of the 7th, 8th of the 8th, 9th of the 9th. So what you've got is a period from the 8th of the 8th to the 9th of the 9th is exactly 63 days, which is 9 weeks. So the 9 weeks of Daniel, where all that, what I just said kind of gets confirmed, is actually a 3, the 3 score equals 99. Obviously it's confirming that Job, it's at the same time confirming that the dart score and the Taurus, or the triple Taurus bullseye. It's a timeline, but it doesn't end there. So just to be certain that we've got this, well, unbelievably, you would not believe there is actually a code written in these letters. Okay, that ties directly with where we are, because it says about the troublous times. Now, the troublous times really are the fact that we're heading to World War III. Again, I've uncoded all this, and in the book of Daniel, you also have the bear that raises up on one side with 3 ribs in his mouth, which I worked out as a map reference, and the 3 ribs of Finland, Sweden and Norway. He's told to devour much flesh. The Flemish are on the outside, or the Flemish, the people, and it's which is an anagram of I'm flesh. So what basically is when World War III ignites, and the other thing is as well, let me just show you, right, firstly, this is the Cancer constellation, or this is the temple, this is the template, there's the moon target, and the dart on the map, it's the temple there. So what you've got is it's a moon target, it's a moon bullseye it is, on the earth, and then the dart hits the temple on the lock. Okay, this is on the map, on the atlas. Right, okay, now here's where it gets extraordinary. Now I'm going to do something I hate doing, and where can I best Yeah, I'm going to have to scrub it. Okay, right. But, well, like, this will make sense now. But note that there's a Cancer, obviously the Cancer constellation, because this is the key of prophecy as well. Okay, same as Thoth talked about. He says that one of his keys is the key to prophecy. Well, the key to prophecy is Melin, because when you draw the Cancer constellation on it, you get the prophecy for war. I'll show you that now. Okay, or we'll tie that in. Right. Okay. So what is the secret code in this? Now, I usually mess these up by missing letters, but let's go for it. Right. Bear in mind we had So Lock in Mon's Temple, So Lock in Mon's Key, because this one is going to be. Okay, well, I've already done, unbelievably, you've got, so event score weeks, so it's a confirmation, obviously that's September 25 as well, so you've got September 25, you've got the 3 score, you've got the 63 days that perfectly match the 9-week period, divided up obviously by 3 score, the 3 score is 99 as well, which ties it to Job 99. Okay, well, Job 99, again, is obviously that says about the return. Right, but when you take the Cancer constellation and you take every single star in the Cancer constellation, what it says is Israel-Iran begin, opens up last conflict, USA-China, Europe-UK-Russia, bolt thy last, I am Jew message, seal all. Right, now amazingly, the double-cross solar eclipse code that I uncoded from the words, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was dual American solar eclipses, solar moon eclipses, and you use Nineveh and Salem, which are the two of the biblical places that it can consistently, those 2 crosses passed over. When you unscrabble that, it says, as Jew, evac ship land Melin, seal Marco's Orion name. Okay. Okay, it gets better than that, because we're going to take it a step further, because one of the codes we've got now is the blood moon eclipse. But before I get to that, okay, so we know the score is 3-3, right? So now we're going to take a leap to something absolutely undeniable, a piece of creation, a masterpiece of the one that Yahweh created everything. I have no doubt about that, and what he's showing me, hopefully I'm going to prove to you that what I found and how it all fits together so perfectly along with this, it should absolutely blow anybody's mind. And if they think I just done it, I'm a security guard, not, I've never did coding until this happened. And take this the tetragrammaton, the Black Knight satellite away. Like I said, I sit for weeks with nothing. I don't even know. The last video, I did not believe in a million years that I was going to, with no effort at all, really, laughable effort, that I just find this in an instant and uncode it. Okay, bear with me a second. Okay, right, here's where it gets incredible. Okay, each score is worth 33. Like I say, the 3rd letter of the alphabet is C. So each one is a CC. Okay, so we need 3 CCs, really, to tie it all together. Or 3 CC codes. Okay, right, we've obviously done this one at the bottom. I've just put it in there, but we've used the secret C on Mon, put it at the beginning. So lock in Mon's temple, so lock in Mon's key. But the one I did I've done this a long time ago. I actually drew what's insane about all this is I draw the things before I get the instructions. It's kind of backwards. I've always said it. This code is just incredible, but it's trying to show you that I'm getting the information without getting the code, and then I find the code that backs up what I've already done. Right, Canis Minor the lesser dog, Canis Major the greater dog. I did this one long ago. It says, when I unscrab all this, it says Marco realises a Roman Catholic reset. Get sign, add moon, join the RGH. That's exactly letter for letter what's written in there. Obviously, what that is basically, as I showed you with the temple, you've got the two pillars, you've got the Royal Arch in Cancer, that's where the R comes from. There's a picture, if you go into all the Masonic, but it's Solomon really. But if you go in there, you've got the picture of the Royal Arch in Cancer. So you've got the Royal Arch, you draw the Cancer constellation, this goes on, like I say, I know this is going to be hard to take in for some people, but this is Canaan, England, this is Egypt is Cornwall, and then Judah is Wales. On the map, when I draw this out, this is Swindon, this is Exeter, and this is Anglesey, Holyhead. But if you actually look at the letters, and then what you've got here is G. There's your moon. Obviously, that's a lot further up. But it actually says Seek Yah. Okay, so it's even encoded in that. But when it says get sign, the sign is Cancer. Put it on the map. Add moon, and then join the river, Jerusalem, and the hill fort. So that's your RGH code, which is also the same as the Royal Arch in Cancer, which is the Royal Gwent Hospital where I was born on the 30th of June. Incredible, but like I say, it's undeniable that this code is there. People can say I've made it up, but I can assure you there's no way I could have even found this in the time I've done it. It's absolutely astonishing. And that's not because I'm clever, because I'm not. That's the thing. Okay, right, okay. So we've got, there's your two, right, so we need one for each target. So we've got Solok in Mons Temple, Solok in Mons Key. That goes up, probably goes with the Hill Fort, I would imagine, because that really ties that one up. Marco realises a Roman Catholic reset, get sign, add moon. I'm assuming probably that goes in the middle. But then what you've got, the portal one, the first bullseye, which is the 7-7 portal. Okay, the reason for this, it says, do the core, right, the cat, right, I should have spotted this one quicker than I did. The fact it's got the mother, the crow, my mother was born in the Valley of the Crows, and my father actually, and they put their crow's nest on the temple where there happens to be the ship, the crow's nest of the ship as well, but that's going back to another code. I was born in Casnewydd, the tribe of the Cassi, which is the tribe of Isaac as well, which is the tribe of Newport Gwent. This is not in the Middle East, none of this, and this whole code is designed to break this lie that the Roman Catholic reset the whole of history, religion, set it all up, and basically, and everybody's been lied to. That's the bottom line, and I'm here to break that lie. But I'm here to break it being an average guy, a security guard that's uncoding what I'm showing you. And believe me, when we go to the next bit, it's going to be even better. But this is the important one here now. I just wanted to give you the 3 CCs that lock the 3 targets in. Okay, they're all the same target effectively, but it's broken into 3 bits. That's why it's a triple torus bullseye. Right, do the course of Mothership, a wire dart moon Cassivac. Well, obviously we've got the dart and the wire, and the moon is the moon target. So on the Earth, this is the moon target, and the dart hits you've got the rendezvous and the landing zone basically. But obviously the ship is massive, so when it comes over, it's probably going to, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's going to be, assuming it's triangular, I don't know, but it's literally going to be over the whole thing. Okay, right, okay, do the course of Mothership, a wire dart moon Cassivac. Right, okay. Right, let's go to the heavens, because this is where it's showing that he built it in. This code, what I'm about to show you, including all this, was built into creation of the solar system. So there's no doubt I can tell you there's no doubt in my mind who the real creator is, and he's proven it to me. I wanted to know when I started this, who do we follow? You know, the Christians say follow Jesus or you'll go to hell. The Muslims say follow Islam or you go to hell, and the Jews are following their bit, but it's all lies, all of it, or most of it, or certainly the story as far as the Middle East goes. But there is code in. I think I don't really look at the Quran, so I can't really speak on behalf of that one at this point. But I know there's a lot of crossover with like the Book of Job, I believe, and among a few others. But basically, there's been a massive reset in history, religion, history, and and we don't even need to know what NASA lie through their teeth. So if we're expecting any miracles from them telling us things, in fact, the fact that's in the book of Daniel it's actually an anagram of denial, and I think that's where they are right now, in denial that something is going on, and I think they're worried and they're praying and hoping that this thing passes and doesn't take a turn to earth. However, let's get into the next code. Bear with me. Okay, right. First part of this code it's actually in two parts. And what we've got is a 9-planet Sol Moon basically code. Okay, now, right, there's a bit more to this, but basically, this is what I mean. When it says Solomon, you should for me, it was easy to spot. The fact the word Mon was in it, firstly, which is Mon, which is the biggest clue to Monmouthshire. Solo is only temple in Mon, only key in Mon. But simply put, you've got Solomon, 9 plan set or set, what does it say? Wait a minute, Solomon 9, yeah, so what you've got is a Solomon 9 plan set. Okay, but obviously, right, 9 planets. Now, when I was growing up, there were 9 planets. Pluto was 1. And all of these planets are within this torus. This is called the torus field, the outside of the kind of rings. Right, the reason it's called the torus field, bear in mind all this was set up before the world, as Earth is being created, this system, everything, this, I don't know, whatever we live in, this covenant simulacrum, basically, but the torus field, because what you've got to do in the torus field is not just find you don't find the bull, you're looking for a pinpoint on the bullseye, okay, which will give you a clue to where this is going. Okay, but obviously, I think right to make it difficult, because I think they've kind of sussed something with the 9 plan set and the Sol Moon 9 plan set. So I think what they did, they reduced it to 8 planets, obviously taking Pluto out, calling it a dwarf planet. But it is one of the rings within the torus field where the bullseye sits. Okay, so what I got given to do was to take literally everything in the solar system of the, that makes it up. Obviously all the planets: Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Earth, Venus, Mars, Mercury. See the word Cymru in that as well? Just a little pointer. Cymru is the Welsh word for Wales, or one of. It's actually Gymru, but they've changed it to Cymru. Jupiter, you've got the Sol and the Moon. Now, bear in mind, Sol, that's why it's a solar system, because it's got the Sol at the centre of it. Again, I don't know whether they changed that to Sun a later date, but I think in ancient times it was the Sol. So you've got the Sol, the Moon, and then here's the code breaker. And I think this has been put in there because you would never even think of how I thought of it. Well, I'll tell you how I thought of it, because the word that came in my head was torus field. Now, I actually thought the torus field was Earth's magnetic field, so I looked it up. I discovered, no, it's the outer ring. Now, so when I looked at it, it said the toroidal field. And I know this sounds silly, but the word toro is bull in Spanish. Don't ask me, but, oh no, I won't get into that, right? But Jesus' name, Jesus, is kind of a Spanish name, and bull, and a bull muck story, should we say. But anyway, I'm digressing. Okay, so you got the toroidal field. Well, the code breaker is the toroidal field, because without it, you won't get it. But what this is, right now, unbelievably, now bear in mind the last code said to put the root of the mothership. Okay, but firstly, the first thing we got all these rings, but we got the sun in the middle, and ideally we need it to be realistically either a moon or an Earth target. Okay, so, what this does is give us the instructions, and when he said, I have purposed it, it will happen, well, the word purpose comes up in this, and it's absolutely astonishing. Now, and this leads on to a second code that, again, like you'll see now, the genius in all of this. Right, I'm going to have to pause you. I'm not going to do this letter for letter, but I've been over it, and it took me a little bit of working out, but I've got it now, and what it says is absolutely astonishing. And we build up from this, so we're showing you so many things that have been put there. This beyond, no way is this coincidence. It is clearly planning by the one Yahweh who created the entire thing, the whole solar system, everything within it. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, absolute proof. Okay, bear with me a second. Okay, folks, unbelievably, it actually says, letter for letter, it's an instruction, and I will show you how this fits into the whole thing now, and how all this connects together. It says, I remove sun, fill in moon. Okay, so what we're going to do is move, basically we're going to fill in the center rings from Earth inward, and we're going to fill it in red. Okay, making a bullseye target using the rings of the solar system. Okay, uncode the lunar return star jump. Right, and now this becomes apparent because this is the route of the mothership, what will be the route of the mothership. I'm not 100% sure it's Atlas itself. Atlas could just be something that's coming in, because the way I broke this code was I took the planet names initially, and not this one, but the next one I'm going to show. I took the planet names, and it gives you a code to write the route up. Oh, this will all make sense now in a second. Okay, so uncode the lunar return star jump. So the lunar return is because on the temple, during the RGH ad moon, obviously it's a lunar return. So it's going to show you a jump from, well, I'll show you where from, and then he's going to come suddenly, basically. That's what it amounts to. But right, okay. Now this bit is insane, because I drew this Atlas dart so long ago, 2.5-3 years ago, but not realizing its true purpose. Now I find it, your Atlas dart's true purpose. What are the chances of this? Not only, well, like I say, this is an instruction. The return to star jump, I'll show you now, and your Atlas dart's true purpose. Okay, okay, right. This is only part one of the code. Okay, now the toroidal field links, right, it's the link between the two codes. Even though it's not in the code, it's just using it to because we're using we're using Earth, which is where the toroidal field is the field around the Earth, the magnetic field, but it's linking the two because, right, what we're going to do is the planetary rings code next. Okay, right, bear with me a second. Okay, folks, my terrible drawing of a lopsided kind of bullseye target. Now, if you imagine, I've drawn the Mars ring in red. Basically, these rings in the middle now would be the bullseye. I did it in red because Mars is obviously a red planet. It's also, note as well, it's a planet of war. And as Atlas Atlas dart tumbles towards the planet that you associate with war, so the Earth is literally running in tow with it as we head to World War III. Okay, this is part of the Seek World War III as well. Okay, right, now, the Cancer constellation message says, bolt thy last, what does it say, bolt? Hang on, it says, Israel, Iran begin. Basically, what it tells you is that as World War III breaks out, that's when the ship is coming, basically, or it seems to be, well, that's what everything in the code says, that literally, it seems to me that the minute that this war is, I don't know how it's confirmed, but Israel, Iran begin, opens up last conflict. Once this conflict opens up, this ship is going to arrive suddenly. Now, the only thing I don't know, and I'm being honest with you, everything in this code screams that it's 3IATLAS is the actual ship. But I'm not certain. The only other option is, like I say, I wouldn't have got any of this code if I hadn't seen the route that it's projected to take. Now it's coming in. Now note as well, this represents the 30th of June. That's what would be on the dartboard. If I do 180 degree darts flip of the code, so instead of it being 778899, if I was to do it in reverse, you've got kind of three bullseyes three targets of the planets coming in that it passes. But what's amazing, the portal is the 30th of June. The RGH portal is kind of a reflection of where it's going on the RGH portal on the Earth. So we come in, but notice it was spotted on the 1st of July. Perfect timing, the day after my birthday. This is why the bullseye on the ground, if you see what I mean, it flips, and then you've got the kind of going timeline, or a timeline the other way. Right, okay, what I've done, I've put Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Earth. This is how I worked out. Okay, so you go in a different direction, but obviously I didn't know where the jump was. Seen a jump, truth arrives. Exact anagram of Jupiter, Mars, Venus and Earth. Now this is what I realise, it's not, even though it's used that to get my attention to go to it, I realise it's the rings code. It's solid, the Sol Moon rings code, or Solomon's ring code. Okay, as it comes in, right, now this is where it gets amazing. Okay, so, obviously it's going to do this passage, get to Mars, and some point after Mars, this war is going to take off. And from what this code says, it's going to do this kind of, I'm guessing, a light jump. I actually worked out the time of doing, if it could do light speed, and even a quarter of light speed, it would take 3/4 of an hour to get, or 50 minutes, I think, to get to Earth. 12.5 minutes from Mars at light speed. Obviously we're not talking earthly craft, we're talking the creator's kind of craft. So obviously, yeah, like I say, it's not, the important, well, this whole thing is impossible, should never be there, and I should have never found it, but I did. Okay, but what we've got, it crosses. So the reason for these four, this is a toroidal, what is it called? It's called the toroidal rings code. Now, toroidal, because the toroidal field, it links both codes, but you don't need the word toroidal in this, but it's amazing what else there's kind of like this beautiful code at the end of this. Okay, so it comes in, and we do the course of Mothership, and this is why it says a dark wire moon Cassavac. Okay, because in reality, the Earth is I've got it on the same blinking plane. That should, right, there should be an extra ring here. That one's Mercury, that one's Venus, that one's Earth. Mars should be out. Oh, I can't do it, but there should be another ring there. That should be Mars. But it's going to come into Mars, then it crosses. So it crosses Mars, it crosses the first ring, is whether it goes over or under, I don't know, but it goes which way. Crosses over Mars ring, crosses over Venus ring, doesn't hit Mercury, that's why we haven't got it in the code. Then it crosses Venus ring and then comes to the Earth. Okay, and it lands in the dark wire moon Cassavac. This is the dark wire moon. Obviously, in reality, what this has done, the first code turns, like I say, this should be another ring out. Assume this is Mars, Venus, and then, actually, I know what to do. I better not do in black because it's going to make a mess. Okay, so we'll assume, there we are, that's Mercury. That's better. So Mercury gets ignored, but this ring would be out further as well. So what it does is crosses Mars ring, Venus's ring, Jupiter, Mars, Venus and Earth. And this is not absolutely accurate, but this actually ties up where these planets will be at this particular point when it passes Mars. It's not to scale at all, but give or take, it's coming out because this comes from behind the sun. We're going into this period where we won't be able to see it, but it's coming in from, right. And the other thing, now I realised as well, it's a blood, right, this represents a blood moon. That's where I was going. Right, okay. This is the target, which would be the Venus and Earth. In fact, this whole thing would be a target, and Mars would be there, and the target's in the kind of in the centre. Okay, right. Okay, so right. I didn't know whether it was when it said it. I didn't know whether Mars could have been. Well, it's a hearsay. It's kind of there, and was he going to go this way, or was it going to meet it on this side or that side? Well, I realised that by having a blood moon, by doing it red, the moon will turn red like blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord, or the Messiah. It must be. But I only knew because this would be the 7th of the 9th. That's when we got that blood moon over that pinpointed Jerusalem in the Middle East as an omen. I can tell you that now. That's where it appeared on the earth, over Jerusalem in the Middle East, the fake one. This is not a good sign for them. But anyway, 7th and 9th. So knowing that we were beyond the 7th and 9th, I then knew that it had to go this way past, you know, beyond the sun and come in from this side, behind the sun, not this side, if that makes sense. So it kind of gives you a date. It used it to give me a date and a code as well, because the blood moon also gives you a code. Unbelievable. Right, okay, so seen a jump, truth arrives. Right, but what I've done, I put it down. Seen portal, 1st to the 7th, so I've used that there. Then you've got the 8th of the 8th, but it's not using the 8th as dates now. It's using it as 777, 888, and 999. It's like a countdown code. So you've got the 1st to the 7th. So it's seen portal, a lion's jump gate. Well, if you release a hungry lion out of a gate, it'll jump. And that's where, so you've got seen a jump, and then you've got truth arrives, which is within the wire, a dark wire moon Cassivac, and the course, obviously that's the course of the mothership. All this encoded into creation can only be done by, there's no question that this is the creator's work. Okay, sorry it's a bit messy. It's not the best thing, I know, but there's not a lot, like, it's so difficult to kind of fit everything in without any, you know, professional help, really, because I'm useless at this stuff. Right, bear with me, because we're nowhere near finished yet, because it gets even more crazy. Okay, note the 9 planet Sol moon. Right, bear with me. Let me just write the next one up. Okay, just so in case you're not convinced yet that this is this is really creation code and how clever this is, and that it was done by the creator, and like I say, we're not finished yet, not even after this. But I'm just going to show you, because there's another secret code that's hidden in this. What you have is the 9 planet Sol moon toroidal rings code. That's kind of encompasses the whole thing, with the 9 planets and the toroidal connecting it, obviously, in the rings code, because obviously that's the route it takes. Okay, but there's a secret code hidden in this, which is even more brilliant. Okay, I hope I don't mess this up, but Sol Solomon's plan set to dial or ring NINE 9 code. For anybody in America that doesn't know, the emergency code when you dial an ambulance or a Cassivac or whatever, the emergency number, like your 911 in America, our version is 999. What it's using, I said that I was taken from for anyone who doesn't know as well, I was inserted into the matrix. I was in the womb of the temple, literally, because I was in my mother's womb in the temple. That's where my mother and father lived when she was carrying me. Literally, the house on the temple sits on it, or on part of it. Obviously, some of it's uncovered, the front, but I know that temple was much bigger, and the bit you see is only the kind of central part of it. But I was then taken to Casnewydd, the hospital, the Royal Gwent Hospital, where I was born in the Royal Arch in Cancer, which is why it's the RGH code. And then I was brought back to the temple. Then 50 years later, I live my life. Suddenly all this happens to me. I don't know what long story, but I end up coming back to Caerwent, where I am now, losing everything practically, or giving everything up, moving into my mum's living in a caravan, which I've been, following my Sabbath, doing my Sabbath, which was all part of the covenant and the deal that I did, and got this code in return. This is like a short story, that's a short version of a long story, but obviously, what I said previously in videos was I came in through the RGH and I will go out through the RGH. Well, the RGH code on the earth is the river Jerusalem and the hill fort, which pins the landing zone and rendezvous. Then it takes off and it goes back out where it came in on the 1st of July through the RGH portal, scene portal. Then it's the jump gate, but then it's going to go back, I'm assuming, the same way as it came with, and obviously I'm going to be exiting via the RGH, same as I came in. Okay, right, okay, it doesn't stop there, but I think this is an absolute masterpiece, because like I say, the number to ring for an ambulance or an emergency in Britain is 999. And then you've got the Job 999, or you can follow the Revelations, 66 books of Revelations, which won't end well, and there's a lot more to that. But this is why the Cancer constellation, which I was born in as well, it's the same for well, this is why it's the Royal Arch in Cancer. And that is the 6 and the 9 is the crab symbol, and then literally the 9 goes there. There's more than this. There's numerous ways you can do this, and the 6 goes and the 9 goes. So you can either follow my job 999 job, get right with the Creator Yahweh, stand in the letter Y, and then obviously put your sins on your palms, offer them, offer them up. Stand there and just apologise and don't say the word Amen, because you're just giving it to Amen Ra. Your prayers is supposed to be name, and you name who you send it to. So I say Marco to Yahweh. Okay, when I do it, I would, like I say, it's up to you. But as you can see, I am clearly being led. I am without doubt being led by the Creator. And like I say, we haven't finished yet. So on that note, I best get on. Bear with me. Okay, and if that wasn't enough, there's even a code in the eclipse. Now, to go back, there was a code on the map. It was in the arrowhead seal, or the arrowhead on the map that points to London as Babylon. And it said, and the code in the place names in the atlas said, the code he opened, as I recall, the last part of it said, the code he opens will be seen before the Welsh red dragon flag planet will be seen. Rearrange the moon eclipse words to get the message. Okay, so the first message, as I said before, was the dual American solar moon eclipse, Nineveh Salem, I think it was. I uncoded it. And when I uncoded that, it said, as due, evac ship Llanmelin, seal Marco's Orion name. Okay, so with that in mind, and we had this blood moon solar eclipse on Sunday, September the 7th, blood moon solar eclipse. I did the same, and then when I unscrabbled it said blood moon step. I'm not sure that should be step blood moon, meaning go past the blood moon on the map. I think it is step blood moon, bullseye dart score, even name ship. Okay, so, well, I've obviously named the ship. It's the Argus Navis. That is based on, right, and I'll show you now how unbelievably the code in the constellation that was the ancient Argus Navis that has been split into 4 constellations, because that carries a message that ties and links all this together as well. Okay, bear with me a second, just in case you're not convinced yet. Okay, folks, I'm just hiding it a second, but just want to show you. Okay, Argus Navis, the ship, is the original constellation. They changed it to Argo, but in the small print, you'll find the Argus, something as a generative. Well, I know they changed it because Solomon's seal has a star split in half. And if you look at it, you can see it's a paper ship. But the local paper for Mon is called the Argus. So it's Solomon's paper ship. Basically, it says Solomon's paper ship on the Gwent levels, which is where I drew. When you decode the Great Seal of Solomon, basically you can decode it, and it tells you where the ship placed the ship, the original ship I drew, which was the Argus Navis, which led me to all this. And what they did, they split it into four constellations. So G-Roost the crane, which is where Jerusalem gets its name from. Pupis the poop deck, which I thought was a joke initially. I thought somebody had changed that, but it clearly wasn't. Vela the sails, and Carina the keel. I drew the ship based on a car in the keel as well. A car in a keel, or a car in the keel. Because that basically the keel on the ship that's drawn on the Atlas is actually the M4, made up of the M4 motorway and the A48 road, I think it is. But basically that's how I got the basic thing to draw the ship on the map, the Atlas starship. Okay, now this is where it gets amazing, because letter for letter, what this actually says is, just in case you're not convinced there's a ship coming, Code link seen. Argus ship real. Picks up the people that evac Earth. Okay, so there's like I say, tie this all together, and bear in mind I've really broken all this in the last couple of weeks, and probably in the space of, I don't know, including doing the video, probably 12 hours at most. I mean, I really have put no effort in, to be honest. I just sat back and just let it come, and piece by piece I just put it together. We've got more yet, because we're not quite done yet, and the final one was the biggest shock of all to me, and really ties it all up. But let me just do we've got two more, so bear with me. I'll just do these quickly. Okay, right. Not to be like, again, it's just this keeps coming and coming and coming. I do think this is probably my final video. I kind of hope so, in a way. Just to let you know, in the book of Daniel, after the 69 weeks, what you get then is where it starts to talk about the war and everything else basically kicking off. That's what it amounts to, which is why I think it says seek war. It also says that, well, I know it sounds crazy, but Messiah will be cut off, but not for himself. I don't know this, and I'm not saying it is definite, but it could be that the internet is pulled or goes down or something happens and I'm unable to give you code, but I continue to receive it. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm not saying that is correct, but I'm just trying to look at some logical reason behind the strange way it's written. Anyway, before we get right, okay, let's just continue with this for the moment. Okay, the 3 bullseye dates is the 7th the 7th, the 8th the 8th, and the 9th the 9th, which is your triple tau. That's the symbol for the triple tau. The Taurus bullseye and the H, that separates. That gives you 3 T's. Put it together and it gives you the Taurus H. Okay, we found the H, and it's the temple and the H basically in reverse. Obviously we've got 3 bullseyes on it, but it's Cancer the Crab. This is the period of the zodiac that goes between it. Cancer the Crab, Leo the Greater Lion, and Virgo the Virgin. Okay, it comes with a message. Locate RGH. This is the RGH crib. That's, like I say, this is where my crib was before I went to the RGH, and I come back. The evac rendezvous RV in the TH in the Taurus bullseye. It's using it as a symbol in this one. Okay, it's just making sure that I think the AI can't crack these codes. I greet Orion Angel there. Well, if you've seen this, but the Orion thing is because there's a riddle in Orion. It says all the stars in Orion, you break it down and it says, I take angel, all's a belt. I take Jerusalem. I be all tricks in a map, same as H. Basically, I've uncoded it all, but same as H is the word Messiah when you uncode the riddle. Like I said, how I'm the Orion messenger. The angel is a messenger, and that's what I am. In the heavens, you've got Orion. If you take Orion, the hunter, then you go Aldebaran. Aldebaran is the bullseye. So if you use Orion the hunter, Aldebaran, then it goes beyond that. Then you've got the Pleiades. You take all 3, and it actually says he's seen Orion's riddle, the Atlas starship, and Nibiru event. And Nibiru is obviously the unfortunate at the end after, well, I don't even want to think where that goes, but either way. Okay, so what it basically is telling you is to locate the evac and all these things, which I've already done. So it's only confirmation of what I already done in the Taurus and in the triple tau bullseye, which is the hill fort, the temple, and the river. I greet Orion Angel there. Second code as well, obviously is more than one that's, you know, says I'm going to be first contact in that. Okay, right, now the last one I'm going to show you absolutely blew my mind. Again, this is like taking verses, but I can show you how this triggered. Well, the word jump, when it said a jump, made me remember something that I remembered that he said he came. I remember that when I used to, bear in mind, when I used to listen to this Old Testament, I had no clue about Kyle Went being anything to do with it. This is before I end up doing the agreement, losing everything. But I remember, it's funny how I like these certain parts of it logged in. Now, when it said a jump, I remember it said I come suddenly. So I thought, hang on. So I typed in suddenly into the kind of Bible as a search, and it came up with a verse, which I'm going to show you now. Now, if this doesn't, well, put it to bed, nothing does. But like I say, let me just show you it first. Okay, folks, right, okay, how I got to this, right, obviously it said the word jump, and like I say, when I was listening to this, I don't know why, that bit where it said I come suddenly, I didn't even realise at the time, I had no clue of the temple or anything. In fact, it's amazing that I only found this now, but obviously I think this was meant to be. Okay, it says, right, so I went to well, I put what I did, I typed the word suddenly, and this is what it came up with. There was a few others, even in Job as well, but they were not related. But it said, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek, well, I think that's the Creator whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But again, some of this has been like with the word Lord. It's the Creator of hosts, I think. And the hosts are, well, like I say, I could break this down even more, but I'm getting tired actually. I'm running out of time. But in short, okay, so it says, I will send my messenger. Well, I'm clearly the messenger, and he shall pray, and I have prepared the way before him. And the Creator whom he seeks shall suddenly come to his temple. Well, who is his and what temple? Well, clearly the temple that I was literally inserted into the matrix, which is the place where you literally break the matrix. You take the padlock, you break the padlock in letters, and it says add P lock. So you put P into the word matrix, becomes matrix, then that opens up everything and tells you that, obviously, and then ends up creating the place. Okay, right, so just to be sure, this is unbelievable, this next bit, and it did it for me. Okay, so is it me he's talked to? So if I could tie this up with the code that I've been all the code that I've been showing you. Bear in mind, he calls me the H-man, which is the secret. Manchester says secret H-man. Where I am now is Corsham, which the key points to says Marco's H, and the word Messiah is same as H. The Judah's lion, which is the code for the Lion of Judah, says only you ideas H. But just to tie all this up, and I couldn't believe this when I saw this, I didn't think there was going to be any code in this, but I found it. So he is talking, I locate H-man here. Like I say, folks, I don't know, like I say, this has been an unbelievable ride for me. I don't even know, like I say, I had no, like, you know, when I started this, I had no, all I wanted to do was find out the truth. I kind of went into this trance, I don't know what happened. It's funny how this all came about. I wasn't a coder, wasn't particularly religious, but I had this urge. Then went, you know, I want to keep my children safe. They're encoded in this, and like I say, there's so much I could go over. But basically, I just wanted to know, you know, I want to know the truth. Jesus, and if Jesus, I have no bias to anything. I didn't even, well, the last thing I expected was to find the code, that everything, well, all the time, the answer was, well, the answer in the code, and honestly, I'm still kind of in Daniel or denial, because I can't believe it myself. And it's almost like when Yah comes and this ship arrives, and I have no doubt that it's coming. Is it Atlas? I don't want to say 100% it's Atlas. Atlas may be like just sent in advance, maybe so that I would pick this code up and then work out where the main ship is coming. It's possible, or it could well be Atlas. We'll know soon enough, because we're not far from it. The key to the timeline to it happening is the war. We need, I say we need war. I don't want war, obviously, but when the war happens, I think that's when the jump takes place. And like I say, at light speed, you're talking 12.5 minutes to get from Mars to Earth. So, and we're talking of the creator of what I've just shown you. And like I say, there's nobody but the creator that could have put that there. And you have to ask yourself, in the space of 6-7 weeks, I don't even know, since the last video, where I thought I'd nailed everything to do with the dart, and literally everything I've shown you here, including two pinpoint biblical passages that I didn't search for, they just well, they were both like kind of put in my head to go there, or in one way or another, that literally link everything up. And this cosmic bullseye, it just really seals it that it can only be the work of the Creator. The Creator is real. His name is Yahweh. And it's also spelt, so not to be mixed up with, and he is, well, his people were the Siluri. And the land is not Israel, it was Siluria. Okay? And this is the truth. And the Temple of Solomon is obviously, well, it's Inventa Silurum, what was Jerusalem. Salem is clued up as well, because Salem is literally well, Salem in the Old Testament is as Melin. It's Clan Melin. This is the place. This is Salem. Then you've got then you take G-Roos the crane, like I showed you. But the ship and the end times, it's kind of the end from the beginning as well. Honestly, I could go into so much detail, but ultimately, folks, this is what you need to do. Stand in Yah, the letter of Yah's name, a letter Y. Put your head down. Notice this is the Cancer constellation upside down as well. So when I look in the reflection of the 7, and I seen the RV, the 7 is the river. It's the Sab River, the old Sab River. They changed it to the Sabrina by Rome, and then it was changed to the 7. But the River 7 is seen the River RV basically. And then if you do that in the reflection, literally you got the temple, the key, and then you put your sins on your palms, ask for forgiveness. Don't say Amen. Name Yah. You know, say from Marco to Yah. Obviously don't say Marco, and this is what you need to do. You need to get right with him now. I think it's just gonna, I'm not sure how this works when he arrives, but it's better to get ahead of it right now. And like I say, if I haven't convinced you with it, just this video alone, it's absolutely astonishing. Every time I think I've seen it all, so this comes but anyway, on that note, folks, just please get right with Yahweh, the Creator. You know, he's real, he's coming, and I have no doubt he's coming. As to the date, I don't know, but I don't think we're a million miles from it. And bear in mind, there is an unknown object, a rather large one, that fits the size and the code, that is heading towards Mars as we speak. As we head to, like I say, the planet of war, as we head towards the planet of war. So on that note, Yah's blessings to you all. If I don't speak to you again, and don't take my word, don't take it as read, that there might be another video, I don't know. But I don't know, I get the distinct impression, well, every time I said that, we end up with more code. But on saying that, Yah's blessings to you all.